Welcome back, my friends. Welcome back, my loyal subscribers, my loyal viewers. Welcome back. Point of view. I know I did one of these. It was actually called perception, but this time we're gonna use point of view, just so it's a little bit different. But I felt the need to touch on this subject again, just because it's kind of been the root of how I'm planning on changing my life. But before we get into that, welcome back. Welcome back to Jester Speaks, where I talk and you listen. I know it's been a little minute. I don't even know why I mention it at this point. At this point, I'm just gonna make the video and not even say anything. I'll appear when I appear. It just happens. But I just been chilling lately. Nothing crazy, honestly. My life hasn't been anything crazy this last like 2 months. Kind of just been working, just working. Either if it's mental work, physical work, or financial work, just working. Things that actually contribute to my life is what I've been focusing on. Um, of course, with a little bit of fun dabbed in there. Not too much though. I don't really care about having fun. I'm just playing. And everything I do is fun. Even when I'm working, I think I always find fun in everything I do. So when I say work, it's like a mixture of fun and work. But yeah, just been working, sleeping. The good stuff. The good stuff. But today we're gonna be doing a little point of view. Actually, this is take three, by the way. I made this video. I tried to make this video 2 times yesterday, and I just got fed up. And I was like, I'm done because the laptop kept freezing. I sent the video over to my phone, and it wouldn't load for some reason. Normally, I can watch the video on my phone through through something, and it wasn't. And I was just like, okay, so it's not the time. I'm going back to sleep. So take three. Nope, point of view, not perception. It's not the same thing. Point of view. This has been me trying to change my point of view has been the root of the last few days. I'm not gonna say weeks or anything, but the last few days. So yesterday, I believe yesterday was the 7th. Yes. So yesterday was a full moon, the official full moon, and they say full moons are a time to release and let go of things. So where I'm at right now doesn't have a bath. It only has a shower, and it's so annoying because I used to take baths like at least 2 times a month, and now I just can't because it's only a shower and it's not a bath, and it's pissing me off so much. But recently, I've been feeling full. I've been feeling like I'm carrying too much and thinking of too much and trying to do too much. So I figured this full moon was a great time to just let go of things. So within the last week, I've been thinking of things and writing them on a piece of paper. I burnt it already, so I can't show you guys. I don't even remember what's on the paper, honestly, but I've been writing down things on a piece of paper, and the plan was for the full moon to burn the paper, do some prayer and meditation. So I went out to a national park. I don't remember the name of it, but I went out to a national park. Um, Sat there, listened to the silence. I love nighttime. It's just so peaceful. Listen to the silence, and after a while, I did some meditation. No, prayer. I did prayer, and then burnt the paper, and then I did some meditation. And in the midst of all this relaxation and realization, I came to a little conclusion that I need to start I need to start viewing my life a lot more positively. I think the root of my anxiety comes from imagination, and it comes from me thinking that I'm doing something wrong. I don't know. Okay, see, I don't know what I touched on my perception when it was a while ago. I don't know what I touched on it. So if I repeat anything, I'm sorry. Sorry. But this is what I'm feeling right now. This is what I want to talk to you guys about right now. So listen and shut up. But fuck. See, I was fucking around now. I forgot where I was about to go. Um, yeah, okay. So I've been re re I've been touching on how I view things and how maybe the things that I'm doing isn't wrong and maybe nothing is wrong. Before I forget about this, I want to say something. So there was this video I watched once. I don't remember what the cartoon was. I think it was an adult cartoon. It might have been a TV show on Netflix, but basically they were they were walking in heaven and they saw Hitler. They saw Hitler in heaven, and then they looked at him and they were confused. And then Hitler was like, "I don't know, man. I'm just as confused as you." And as much as this was supposed to be entertainment and funny, also it just sparked the idea in my mind, like, what if what if there is no wrong and right? We're pretty emotional creatures, and I think that we feel things a lot more deeply. Well, we're the only creatures I know about, so um, we are emotional creatures, and I feel like we feel things a lot deeply. But this made me question wrong and right. It brought the idea to my mind that what if the things we do aren't dictated? Gotta find the right words for this one. What if the things we do aren't seen as wrong or right in a God's eye? Because everything has a ripple effect. Everything has, it's a domino effect. So what if us coming here, I'm going to use Hitler as an example. Um, this is just me speaking my mind here. What if things that were done was just a ripple effect to make the whole human race a more positive race? What if the thing that was done was a ripple effect in people's minds and people's thoughts and things like that to make us better? If you think of this in a God's point of view, think of this in this almighty power that can do whatever and that loves you deeply, but also has no perception of time. So what happens 50 years in the past technically happens at the same time something 1,000 years in the future is happening in their eyes, or in however it works. I don't know. But take this into perspective and then think about what if what was done sucked in the moment, but 100 years down the line, those same actions led people to be more inspired to make things better. Is that you catching what I'm saying? So what if our perception of, oh, Hitler was a horrible person, he should be in hell, blah blah blah, he did wrong and everything. You're human and you're super emotional. So think about this in the God's point of view. What if what he did was simply what he was put here to do? What if the only good and bad, right and wrong is us completing our mission? Not what the mission is, but the fact that we completed our mission. We're all here to do something. We're all here to lead the universe, to lead the people in a certain direction. And I assume that it's for the best. I assume that we all want to advance and become smarter and better and wiser and stronger and all the good things. So, what if it's not so much of what we do in the moment, but rather that we did it? I don't know. Like, I think I always say this, I don't believe in good and bad or wrong or right. I believe in positive and negative. Things could have a positive effect and things could have a negative effect, but I don't really believe in good and bad. So basically, the point I'm trying to make here is my perception is changing, my point of view is changing on Well, no, okay, I'm not gonna say changing. I'm trying to change my point of view because it's not as easy said than done. I'm trying to change my point of view to help myself feel better about me and the things that I've done and to do. I'm trying to have more of an outlook of I'm here for a mission. I want nothing but the best for people. I want nothing but to spread love and positivity and all the good things that make the world shine. I want nothing but that for everyone. So, life is going to be moments where you do something not so positive, do something a little bit negative to hurt somebody or make them sad, or, you know, we all hurt and we all get hurt. And I think these are the things that like really get to my anxiety and make me think I'm doing something wrong and then puts me in a depressive state or makes me feel like something's not right or it basically just messes up my mental. So I've lately just been trying to change my point of view on the little actions that I make every day. And I think as long as I have the mindset that I'm here for a mission, I want nothing for the best for people. I want to learn and teach people things and spread things and all that. And I just want to make it known that I just want to, I'm trying to like find the right words. I just want to make it known that like we're all going to do shit. Everything's not going to be positive. If the whole entire timeline of humanity was positive and we all were just great connected human beings, how would we grow? So, for the example that I was using with Hitler, him being in heaven and being confused on how he's in heaven, that just sparked that mentality. Like, maybe it wasn't what you did, but the fact that you did what you were supposed to do. And also made sure that you still, well, I don't know the guy personally, but maybe made sure that he still loved himself and that he knew that he was doing the right thing. Or, yeah, the right thing to make sure that humanity as a whole is better in the future because the present is the present, the future is the future. Shit's gonna have to happen in order for the future to be better. And I think a lot of us look towards the future more anyways than the present. So yeah, so that was just a whole outlook. I'm not saying I'm on anybody. I don't think anything. I'm not on anybody's side about that. So I'm gonna move on from that. But that basically was just helping me get an outlook on maybe the things that like I do in my life. I need to stop perceiving them as wrong and right and just perceive them as me going towards a journey of being my better self. And I hurt people and bad things happen, but it's okay. I think in this way, I think, okay, so I just listened to a Jid song where he was like, I sin and repeat. No, I sin and repent. I sin and repeat. I sin and repeat. And I think the one true way to live life as a human is just to constantly repent, whether it's daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly, or whenever you do it. But I think it's crucial to always sit down for a second and apologize for the wrong you have done. Because we only can live in the moment. We don't always know what's wrong. And if we do, we don't always have the choice to be able to not do that wrong thing in that moment. Sometimes we're handed limited choices. And I think we just have to love ourselves through all the choices that we make and just make sure that at the end of the day, you're still trying to do better and repent because we're all going to sin consistently. I don't think we're going to stop sinning. Maybe in 1,000 years, maybe in 100, maybe in 150 years. I don't know. Maybe we'll be perfect creatures, if perfect's even a thing. But as of right now, I think we're always going to sin and changing that point of view on the fact that you're sinning and that is wrong to the point that you're just here, you're trying to do better and everything's okay. And whatever you do, the ripple effect 1,000 years into the future is going to be positive. And I think that's a little bit more important. how we must be for this journey. Yeah, I think that's like I was just saying, that's the one way to live life is I think repenting and prayer is probably the two things that anyone who feels like they're doing wrong or feels like they have done wrong or feel like things aren't so positive. I think repenting and prayer is the two things that should be daily done, if not weekly. I think I do it more weekly, but try to do it when I remember. This also brought an example of I know it's movies, but like I'm using it as an example. How in movies where like the killer, he's not a bad guy, but it's kind of his life. He kind of has to kill people. It's kind of the life that he was brought into. But at the end of the day, he still wants the best for people. He still a lot of them sometimes even pray or sometimes they'll probably feel too fucked up to even like ask for forgiveness. It's like fuck, I've done too much wrong to even ask for forgiveness. But everybody says it's you're always going to be forgiven as long as you ask. And also forgiving yourself. I think that's number one. If you can't forgive yourself, then obviously you don't deserve forgiveness. So I think forgiving yourself for everything you've done is number one to be able to continue walking with your head up and not feeling like you're doing wrong or anything like that. um, as I just said, why I see this way. I see this way because I think I got to the point, like I was saying yesterday when I was letting go of things and I was just meditating and trying to just feel more in the moment. I started to see how tired I can be when I'm like consistently doing things that make me feel like when I consistently treat myself like I've done something wrong. I see how tiring it can be. Lately, I've been like just finding moments of meditation where I just stop for a second and where I just stop for a second and I breathe and take like a huge deep breath in and out. And every time I do that, my body just feels like it's lightening. Like it just feels like I just let go of a whole bunch of shit when I stop. Because I'm like consistently thinking, like, especially during the day when things are happening, you don't realize how much you're thinking. So when you really find the time to stop for a second and think, it's super relaxing. And I think I've been doing that more. So I've been a little bit more conscious of how I feel and how I feel like inside of my body, if that makes sense. So I think I've been like becoming a little bit more tired of ever feel like I'm doing something wrong or right. It's so hard to live day by day and not beat yourself up for something you think you should be doing in the moment. And I think you can't live happily without being happy that you just simply exist. I think I never could be happy with just existing, just laying in bed all day or just doing nothing, just simply existing. I think I've never been happy with that. And feeling that relaxation of nothingness made me realize like I think I need to change the way I see things. Like I obviously need to change. And obviously it's easier said than done, but obviously I need to change what I'm doing. Well, not what I'm doing. I need to change how I see what I'm doing. And I need to just allow it to be. You know, like obviously there's gonna be moments in life where you do nothing, where you kind of just, chilling. And I think those are the moments where I really beat myself up. And then on top of that, I think everyone does wrong, and some people hang on to it a little bit more. And I think the people that don't hang on to their wrong is happier. They're always happier, no matter who they are, because they know that it was a purpose. It was a purpose to what they did. It was a purpose to what was done, and some purposes are bigger than our feelings. So taking away the feeling aspect of just being human and making sure that whatever you do, it's for the greater good of humanity. That is why I am working on switching my point of view from having a point of view to nothing and just existing day by day, working towards goals, working towards having things that I want. Yeah, that is why. I wrote right here. Oh, there's a piece of here. There's a piece of here in my face. Right. I wrote right here, good and bad decided through how we treat ourselves through the journey that we walk as humans. And what I meant by this was the good and the bad, which I don't believe in, like I always say. I think the I think the only way that we could live a life that isn't deserving of going to heaven is by rejecting why we're here. Cause say you're meant to do something that's frowned upon, that's seen as horrible, but it's a part of your path. And you decide, no, this isn't what I want to do with your thoughts, but in your body and your actions, it's where you must tread. I think if we get it into our heads and just start beating ourselves up about it, I think that's really where we're doing wrong because contributing to our we're not contributing to the growth of our society as humans. We're not contributing to it, whether it's negative or positive, because a road isn't just straight, it's up and down, up and down. So there's going to be moments of society and humanity where things aren't so good. Maybe even now is a time where things just aren't so good. But for all the for all the good and bad that people are doing, I think it's at the end of the day, it's ultimately for the positive. They just need to do it. And I think that's where we could stray from our journey and actually do no impact rather than something. Because I think something is better than nothing. For example, this stuff that's going on right now. What I don't I'm not really into politics. Sorry. I don't really pay attention to politics. I probably should. Don't know, don't care. But for example, if none of this shit happened, if Trump never did what he did, if Elon never did what he did, I say just give it some more time. Just give it some more time and see where humanity's gonna be. Few hundred years. Well, obviously we won't know, but see where humanity's gonna be in 50 years from now. I think that's pretty solid. And then imagine we're in a more positive state and everybody's more stronger and we're more connected. I think that's the one thing that really needs to be accomplished, really, is connection through all humans because we're the same. Obviously, I think we should all be more connected. Um, but say we're more connected in the future, and then you look back and you're like, oh, I wish Trump never did what he did. Then how will we be where we are? So I think that really puts into perspective. Just stop worrying about what's considered good or bad by society when society doesn't even know what the fuck it is. Most people don't even know what they want. Most people are just like we said, bro, we're in a matrix. Most people aren't even thinking for themselves. They don't know what should and shouldn't be happening. They're just using what people already labeled and using it against you. So this is kind of me talking to myself, but also to the people listening to this. Just don't be so in your head about what's going on or what you're doing or like even your past, because I think that's really what's getting me down is the things I've done in the past sometimes like comes back and I'm just like, oh, that was pretty shitty to do, and then I kind of feel bad and blah blah, and then it kind of overthinks, and then I think it also I think it also leaves a little it leaves like a little print on my trust for people. Because if you feel like you're doing people wrong, I think it's also hard for you to trust people in the future because you would feel like you can't be trusted because you don't know. Like, so I think it also kind of leaves a little tiny print on my trust for just everything around me, and it kind of puts me in a more what's the word for it? a scared state of mind, an anxious state of mind of like the people around me, and it leads me to have trust issues and stuff like that. So it's just something that I'm working on. My point of view of everything. I'm trying to have no point of view and just be fluid and just live in the moment and do better day by day. Yeah. I think there was something else. Um, I don't know for sure. I might put because I feel like I touched on most of it already. I'm going to rewatch the video that I made yesterday because the audio is fine. It's just like it's super laggy and you just can't see anything. You just can't see anything, but the audio is fine. So I think I'm going to go back there and um, see if I missed anything. I don't think I did miss anything, but honestly, that's it, bro. This is going to be one of my shortest ones. I think we're like 20 something minutes. This is just going to be one of my shortest ones, and I'm fine with that. I just kind of wanted to get on here and just talk to you guys. And uh this is something I felt like I could have just, talked a little bit about at least. I know it's been a little minute. So I hate going a full week and not posting anything, but sometimes it just feels like it's not time. So I don't rush it all the time, but I wanted to make a video yesterday and then I felt it today and I was just like, I'm just going to make a video on point of view because it's what I've been thinking about lately. It's what I feel like it's the root to all my problems. It's, it's what's going to change everything, how I view what I do and make sure that I still love myself. I still cherish myself. I forgive myself and I keep moving forward. With that being said, guys, I strongly suggest if you are anxious, if you have trust issues, if you have whatever, think about how you view things and just change it. With that being said, thank you guys. I'll see you in a little here. Hopefully before the end of the week, I'm going to try to do another video. No promises. Thank you very much. Bye.